Today we're giving you a sneak peek into our top 50 rankings. Now, Kyle and I don't agree, so things are going to get interesting. What is going on, Headliner Nation? That's right, today we're giving you a sneak peek into our draft guide where we have our top 250 player cheat sheets today. We're covering our top 50 and we're going through a few of the biggest differences that Kyle and I had. Now, we've seen Kyle's rankings here over the last couple weeks and a lot of people have asked, how come they're a little bit different? It's because the draft guide is a consensus of both of our brains, so that means it's going to get a little bit scary here today as we dive into the top 50. Now, real quick, Kyle, we are making a push to 250,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. If you want to just mushroom stamp your league mates all year long, Kyle, just smack them on the cheek with it, you know what I mean? Anyway, if that's what you're looking... Okay, that was maybe a little bit far, but we're going to go ahead and keep it in the video because we don't cut things around here, Kyle. But let's go ahead and not waste any more time. We're going to break it down into tiers for you. Like I said, top 50 players, no quarterbacks, more so flex rankings. And why is that? So many people value quarterbacks differently. A lot of people play in 2 quarterback leagues, but don't worry, we have quarterback rankings in our draft guide as well. If you need a draft guide, tfhdraftguide.com. There's links down below in the description. But Kyle, let's dive in to tier 1. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up the players in tier 1, and not a whole lot of differences here, at least in the first 9 picks for us. Kyle, maybe a spot here or there, but nothing crazy. We got Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Derrick Henry, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, the one name that I kind of want to focus on, Kyle, I'm going to ask your opinion, is Malik Neighbors. A lot of people have questions about his toe injury that we've heard about this offseason, but we've also heard that he's had it for quite some time. Are you worried at all about Malik Neighbors?
Not right now. That could obviously change at any point in time.
For sure.
Given the nature of the injury. Right now, though, I'm fine with it. He's going to be the number 1 target. Improved offense, better quarterback play. I think he deserves to be talked about in tier 1. I think there's some other guys that you could make a case over him if you want to. Like if you wanted to be a little bit more safe, if you're worried about, go with Amon-Ra St. Brown instead. That's why both of these guys are in tier 1 together.
Yeah, and like I said, not a whole lot of differences in this tier for us. I know we have Derrick Henry up inside tier 1. A lot of people may not have him that high. We have him as the 8th overall player. The dude is just, he's built different, Kyle.
He's good. I mean, let's just face it. He's good.
I mean, people every year want to write off and say, it's too much, no tread left on the tires. And then every year, Derrick Henry goes out and straight absolutely kills it. With him continuing to be in Baltimore, it's a no-brainer. He deserves to be that high. So really, I don't think any major question marks right here at the top. A lot of people already know who the best players are going to be. But Kyle, now let's pull up tier 2, because this is where we start to disagree.
We get some differences
ever so slightly, and it's really with the first guy on the list. It's Drake London. Now I'm going to run through the tier real quick, and then we'll come back to him. We got Drake London, Nico Collins, Puka Nacua, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Ashton Genty, Brian Thomas Jr., Devon Achane, Ladd Jonathan Taylor, and Christian McCaffrey to round out tier 2. But let's start right back here at the top. It's Drake London. Now, I love Drake London. I have been all aboard Drake London this offseason, but Kyle seems to be like driving the bus of Drake London this offseason. I don't hate it, but you are even higher than me on Drake London.
We're either driving it to fantasy championships or off the side of a cliff. Either one. And I will be on board driving along the way. When you look at the numbers that he had with Michael Penix at the end of the season, and I don't care that it was a small 3-game sample size, I really don't. That offense, even Bijan Robinson, was on a upward trajectory, and they look really, really good and primed to have a big season with Michael Penix. And the guy that will drive it will be Drake London and Bijan Robinson, those guys being potential at least top 24 fantasy assets, upwards of top 12 fantasy assets as well at their respective position, and overall love Drake London this season.
Yeah, and we already know that Darnell Mooney is banged up Almost everyone, aside from like 6 people, myself included, thinks Kyle Pitts sucks. So who's going to catch the football? It's going to be Drake London. I do love him. You have him super high, but we still got him up inside the top 10 as a consensus ranking here between us. Nico Collins we're pretty similar on. Same with Puka, but we've been talking about Puka, and he's actually trending the wrong direction, Kyle.
Just had a conversation before recording.
I mean, it's not a Puka issue, right? I mean, it's not a Puka skill issue. It's not an offense issue. But there's just more red flags that are popping up this offseason. We know about the addition of Devontae Adams, who, yes, is better than what Cooper Kupp has been the last couple years. We also know that Matthew Stafford's back is not exactly the model of health right now. Dude is getting
a shot.
Yeah, dude getting injections.
Give him a shot.
I thought it was just more so veteran rest in the offseason, that he really didn't need to do a whole lot. They were trying to keep him fresh. If he's getting shot up in his back, there's more issues there to uncover. Puka Nacua hasn't exactly stayed healthy 100% of the time because of how hard he plays the game. There's just some questions for a draft pick that early in Puka Nacua. As of right now, we still got him in the top 12, but Kyle, he's trending down, and this is somebody who we may end up seeing falling in the next update for our draft guide.
And it's just really hard for me to get on board with Jimmy G as the backup quarterback.
I get it. I mean, it's somewhat scary just because of Stafford already not being 100%. I wouldn't even think about it if Stafford wasn't an issue right now, but yes, I totally get that. Then we get Bucky Irving. We're a little bit different on Bucky. Another guy. I love Bucky. You really love Bucky. Like, this is like Bucky's gas station. You are all aboard Bucky, and you were straight riding Bucky's backside.
I had him at one point. I had him all the way up at RB5. I still do. Yep, I still have him at RB5. Like, if you've bought our draft guide before and you have utilized the tool that we have in there called the dynamic running back rating, which helps you find upside in running backs, Bucky Irving has the type of DRBR score that led us to the type of breakout candidates that we've called in the past with the draft guide. Like, his numbers could be intense this year.
I'm not overly concerned about the change in offense. I know Liam Cohen is gone, but I'm not overly concerned about them changing too much there. Yes, they added Emeka Egbuka, but Chris Godwin's not going to be 100%. I 100% agree that Bucky Irving still is a top-tier running back. Then we get Josh Jacobs, we agree on. Same with Ashton Genty. We have him a little bit lower than a lot of people do, Kyle, and I think it's because so many people want to overhype the rookies, right? They want to...
Yeah.
I don't think people realize in order to be an RB4, the dude needs like 1,800 total yards and like 15 touchdowns. That's a huge ask for a rookie running back in a Las Vegas Raiders offense. I get it. I love the kid, but we got him a little bit lower than some people. Same with Brian Thomas Jr. We're a little bit lower on him as well combined. That's because a lot of his production last year was with Mac Jones, not with Trevor Lawrence. Can Trevor Lawrence take a step forward this year in Liam Cohen's offense?
Travis Hunter is going to take some targets away.
And I don't dislike Diami Brown either. Like, I think he's going to take some of those deep targets that we saw last year as well.
People like Brenton Strange.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally see it as well. Devon Achane we have sitting right here at 17. Ladd McConkey. What happens with Ladd is the biggest question right here, Kyle, because we just saw that Keenan Allen re-signed with the Los Angeles Chargers, and you and I have always been Keenan Allen fans. We've always liked Keenan Allen. He's not the flashiest of guy, but I don't think his tank is completely empty. He may not be what he was 3-4 years ago, but I think he still has 100 target upside with the rapport that he's already got with Herbert in this offense.
And that's why I don't necessarily want to drop Ladd McConkey down right now, because my thought with Ladd McConkey all offseason has been, I would love him as my wide receiver 2, but I don't know if I really want him as my wide receiver 1. And I don't think that has changed at all. So depending on where his ADP is, you would have to realistically start like wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, or running back, wide receiver to really enjoy using Ladd McConkey consistently. Because if you're looking for that upside, I do think it's going to be missing at times, especially with the run game being what it could be for the Chargers this year. And then, like you said, with Allen being very similar to McConkey, I think those two could eat from each other.
Yeah, both of them playing in the slot is not ideal. by any means. But then we got Jonathan Taylor, we somewhat agree on for sure right there at 19. But then 20 comes a big difference. And I don't even know if this difference matters, Kyle.
I don't know, yeah.
I don't think so because everybody else is drafting him way earlier than this anyway. It's Christian McCaffrey. Now, I currently have him at 11th overall. You currently have him right. There's a Verge top 25 guy, and I'm right there with you. I totally agree that there is a lot of risk surrounding McCaffrey, but people are seeing this off-season videos and how great of a shape he's in, and they're just discounting everything that's happened over the last couple years. And he's going to end up being a first-round pick. He just is. Do I hate it if I can get him at the very first pick of the second round? No. So if I have the last pick of my league, I'm sitting at like the 10 spot or the 12 spot or the 14 spot or whatever, and he's sitting there, absolutely I will do it. But I really don't want him to be my first round pick. There's just some other guys there that have similar upside, but a lot more safe as well.
Yep. I would rather, I know Christian McCaffrey's upside is RB1 overall. We know that. But I'll take Derrick Henry 10 out of 10 times over Christian McCaffrey still, just because I feel like I know what I'm getting with Derrick Henry way more than I do CMC. And when I did my running back rankings video, he was probably the number one guy that got brought up. Like, how do you have Bucky ranked over him? How do you have this guy ranked over? Like, things like that. And I was like, listen, people, it all comes down to the fact that Christian McCaffrey could be a top 5 running back based on fantasy points per game, but if he misses between 2 and 4 games, he's going to finish more along the lines of a top 20 player. He's not going to finish as a top 5 player.
Yep.
And that's what I'm ranking him as, is that there might be an opportunity this year where they say to themselves, the San Francisco 49ers, with an easier schedule, maybe at the beginning of the season, they're like, we got off to a hot start. We're near the top of the division. Let's go ahead and ease McCaffrey's workload throughout the season. So if we have a playoff spot, we're not missing the guy again.
Yeah. Now, if you're sitting at the 12th spot, Kyle, would you ever go back-to-back running back and grab McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs?
Potentially.
Because that would be a lot earlier than the current ranking that he's at.
I think I'm still willing to go Jacobs and Irving over Christian McCaffrey because I want to be a little bit less risk adverse at that point. If I'm going Christian McCaffrey over Josh Jacobs at that point in time, then you need to draft Isaac Guerendo a couple of rounds earlier than his ADP because you need to have him on your roster.
Yeah, that I totally agree. If you have McCaffrey, you better find out a way to get Guerendo, otherwise you're going to be overpaying for him in season. All right, Kyle, that's tier 2. Now let's move on to tier 3. And we got some big-time names in here still inside tier 3. We'll go through it here real quick. A.J. Brown, Kyren Williams, Tyreek Hill, Chase Brown, Brock Bowers, James Cook, Breece Hall, T. Higgins, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, and Alvin Kamara. Now at the top, we're pretty similar on A.J. Brown. I know we have him maybe a little bit lower than a lot of people. That's just because they're running the ball so much in Philadelphia. And when you have other options like Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, because you better believe it right now, I'm feeling so damn fancy. It's just not what he's not relied upon as much as he has been in years past. We saw that last year. Kyren Williams just got paid. I've been beating that drum all offseason long.
I think we could honestly, I think you and I could make an argument to put him in tier 2.
Kyren Williams?
Oh, yeah. I think we could make an argument to put him in tier 2. I think it would be an argument that a lot of people would disagree with.
Yep.
But I think we would have some really good points.
Well, a lot of people want to point out that he's super inefficient. And yeah, I get it. He is. But
sometimes that doesn't matter.
I don't care if he's getting 300 touches. You know what I mean? Like, you can't score any points if you're not touching the football, and he touches the football a lot. Same with the next guy, Kyle, and I know we've talked about him in weeks past, Tyreek Hill. There is almost no way that I would pass on Tyreek Hill if he falls to the 3rd round. And he's falling to the 3rd round in a lot of drafts right now.
Yep.
Now, it honestly depends on where you went in the first 2 rounds, because I still got to get my running backs in. But if you went running back, and you can start the 3rd round with Tyreek Hill, I mean, that's a huge risk, right? But you're taking one risk every 4 rounds is what we tell people all the time. And if that's your risk, he's got wide receiver 1 potential. Like, you could get 2 stud running back.
not wide receiver one.
The overall one.
Wide receiver one.
Like, that's his potential
Upside
ceiling.
Potential. Because we've seen it.
Yeah.
It's not like we're just saying we're taking this out of thin air. We've seen it happen.
Yeah. No, and a lot of it, there's a lot of risk there, and that's why he's in the third round and not the first round. We know Tua needs to stay healthy, and we know they have other options, but the dude was just on film the other day. Kyle, did you see it? He was on a track, and he ran 26 miles an hour. That is stupid.
I'm not even allowed to drive my car that fast sometimes where I live.
Oh, where you live. Okay, I was like, what do you drive?
Because they've got signs up that it's like 15 miles per hour through here.
Yeah, dude, he'd fly. He can't even. He's gonna have to walk through that.
Yeah, he'd get a ticket.
Yeah.
For speed walking.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen him, like you said, do it before. Then we got Chase Brown, who we both still love this year, 100%. We loved him last year. We love him again now that Zach Moss is gone. Because why, Kyle?
Zach Moss sucks.
Zach Moss sucks. Absolutely didn't have to.
I will say this.
Okay. Say it.
I wish Chase Brown's ADP was a little lower. I love Chase Brown.
I do too.
I love him. I just wish it was a little bit lower because he went from being like the biggest discount of the year last year to being a guy that you have to basically draft at the end of the second round, which I don't hate. I just wish his ADP was a little bit lower.
I wish it was still like fourth, right? The fourth round or so. Like, I would love that for sure. But
I would even take it like into the third.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. Next up, we got Brock Bowers, the overall tight end one. I don't think there's going to be any disagreements really with that. It's going to be between him and Trey McBride for the most part for the top tight end position, just due to volume. Okay, well, we disagree there. We'll get to him in a little bit. But anyway, Brock Bowers is going to see a ton of volume. I mean, a ton of volume going that way. Outside of him, we got Jacoby Myers, who's going to rack up 100-plus targets. A lot of people like Dante Thornton Jr. I do myself, but I don't think he's a huge volume guy. He's going to be more of a big play type guy, still going the way of Brock Bowers. James Cook, a lot of people are like, dude's going to regress. He can't have that many touchdowns again. Okay, he could still score like 13, 12 touchdowns and be a top 12 running back, and people are just completely writing him off. I wish he would stop holding out, but dude just wants to get paid. Breece Hall, I know we have Breece Hall a lot lower than a lot of people, Kyle. And Jets are just going to jet, you know what I mean? And the Jets are just disappointed for the last 2 years, and with a new coaching staff in New York, and them already coming out and saying, hey, we're using a two-back system with him and Braylon Allen. I mean, we have a quarterback that's going to call his own number and run the ball sometimes. That's why we have Breece Hall lower than a lot of people.
And I like Breece Hall.
I do too.
I like the talent still. Yep. I think he on the Lions, like in the Jahmyr Gibbs situation, we're probably talking about him as the potential number one overall pick still. Yep. Justin Fields is going to carry the ball a little bit. I can appreciate the offensive scheme coming over from the Detroit Lions because that is who their offensive coordinator is going to be. It's going to be a Lions staffer from last year that Aaron Glenn brought with him when he was hired. So the hope is that Hall is the Jahmyr Gibbs and that Allen is the David Montgomery. Right. And even though they're not going to move the ball as well because Justin Fields and Jared Goff are not even close and the offensive line in Detroit is better and they have better receiving weapons and everything around that, the hope is that they utilize Gibbs in the same way, or they utilize Hall in the same way they did Gibbs, get him in open space. He's going to have some stinkers, but there's also going to be some games I think he has some really good games as well.
Yep, for sure. Then we got T. Higgins. We've kind of seen that the last few years. We know what to expect. We somewhat agree. Same with JSN, who's kind of dropped down the rankings a little bit here as the offseason has progressed. You know, they got Cooper Kupp now. They both play the slot. JSN had over 700 snaps in the slot last year. What does that look like this year with Cooper Kupp there? There's a little bit of question marks there. Terry McLaurin, we're pretty different on Terry, but I don't dislike Terry. I don't think we have him we're not light years apart here. I know that with the contract situation, a lot of people don't know what to do with Terry McLaurin, but I look at it like this. If he's in Washington, we already know what to expect, and it's top 12 wide receiver potential. If he moves on to another team, a team is trading for him to use him and is going to give him the same type of potential. So I'm not overly worried about the contract situation with Terry McLaurin just yet.
Yeah, I'm not either. And the whole trade thing is leverage, in my opinion. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think so either.
I think they'll meet in the middle somewhere. He'll get paid for a year or two, and then that will be it with Terry McLaurin there. But when people talk about the potential regression in touchdowns, I get that he scored substantially more touchdowns last year than what he has over the course of his career. He had the best quarterback he's had during his career, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe he won't regress all that much because the quarterback he's playing with is a bona fide stud.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something else when you start with Bona. I thought you were going to say, never mind. After him, we got Mike Evans, who we agree on, and then Alvin Kamara. Now, I love myself some Alvin Kamara. Like, I probably love him a little too much, but with the way that offense is going to look this year, we have a brand new coach there as well, and Kellen Moore, more of an offensive-minded guy, but you have no damn quarterback to throw the football, which means they're going to check down a lot and run a lot, and that's why I just love Alvin Kamara this year, especially in PPR leagues. He's probably going to be near 100 targets once again this season.
So for Alvin Kamara, I don't think you and I differ too much in terms of where we have him ranked among running backs.
Yep.
We differ where we have him ranked overall. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, we just did a show with our friend over at Fantasy Pros doing mock drafts, and I took Alvin Kamara because he's a safer option for me. And that's one of the reasons why I have him ranked overall a little bit lower is because I don't think he has as much upside as some of the guys that we might talk about here in tier 3. Whereas when you talk about him overall in running backs, he's going to be a super solid running back this year. Mm-hmm. He's going to get dump-offs. He's going to get touches. He's not the same Alvin Kamara that he was several years ago. His efficiency continues to decline year after year in terms of the run game. But give that guy 100 targets, and you're going to be very happy with him as your RB2.
Yep, agreed. So that's tier 3. Now we're moving on to tier 4.
Tier 4.
We got DJ Moore, Trey McBride, Kenneth Walker, George Kittle, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Rashee Rice, and James Conner. A little bit smaller of a tier here, Kyle.
I was confused for a second because tier 4 is purple and tier 5 is blue, and I looked at it and I thought it was all the same.
Yeah, I know. If you don't really pay attention,
I was like, "This is a massive tier."
I know, massiveness. That's what I'm used to hearing. Anyway, let's start off with DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore probably a little bit more than you do, which is weird because you were like the OG DJ Moore truther. Like, I think that you were all aboard DJ Moore as a rookie in Carolina with Cam Newton.
Oh yeah,
but now I'm all on board DJ Moore, and you probably have a little bit more reservations, which I totally get. A lot of people want to talk about the amount of weapons in this offense, right? It's not just DJ Moore. We also got Rome Odunze and Luther Burden and Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland. We got a running game with DeAndre Swift and what's going to happen with, Caleb Williams in his second year and a new coaching staff. I get all that, but I kind of view DJ Moore as he's
the Amon-Ra St. Brown for Ben Johnson.
And he's going to be kind of like the X factor. We're even seeing him line up in the backfield during this offseason. And that's where it's just like the dude could have so many different roles and be so involved. And we all know, if you've been aboard the DJ Moore truther bandwagon for any amount of time, the dude lives on yak yardage. He can make things happen with the ball.
So good.
And if they can get him the ball, which it looks like they're trying to find any way possible to get him to it, he's got to have a solid year.
Yeah. When I look at the Bears offense, I look at DJ Moore filling in as Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I look as Rome Odunze filling in as a less speedy Jamison Williams, but still that kind of big playability within that offense. The reason I have DJ Moore lower is because I think he has one of the widest range of outcomes at wide receivers in this area. And big fan of DJ Moore, like Jake said, but I also think we could find ourselves in a situation where DJ Moore could be flirting with top 12 potential, or DJ Moore could be a guy that is more like a wide receiver 3 because Odunze takes on a bigger role. Colston Loveland gets way more targets than what we're anticipating. Maybe DeAndre Swift is finally good for the first time in several years. Maybe Caleb Williams just doesn't take the step forward. Maybe all the changes on the offensive line don't gel right. I just think the Bears are one of the more polarizing offenses this year where they could be a top 5 offense or they could still be an offense that just doesn't get it.
Yep, I hear you. After that, we got Trey McBride. I know we both love Trey McBride. Kenneth Walker. I know we luck ourselves some KW3. It's just the question marks of like, can he stay healthy? I mean, is he going to be a guy that can stay out there? And maybe we don't expect 17 games, but can he play 15 for us? Because if he can play 15 for us at the place you're getting him in drafts, it would be a steal.
Jake, if I showed up with a crystal ball and I was rubbing my ball and I was going to tell you what my ball told you, if I could tell you that Kenneth Walker was going to play 15 games in 2025, where do you think he finishes among running backs? Guaranteed 15 games.
He finishes RB 11.
7. Oh, I was gonna say I was trying to get on the same page there. Top 12.
Yeah, top 12. I would say top 12.
For sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with that in that offense for sure. 100%. I'm not overly worried about Zach Charbonnet unless there's an injury to Kenneth Walker. Then we got George Kittle, who we know that you love. I love George Kittle too. I think George Kittle's just another one of those guys. Can he stay healthy and on the field? Because he's going to get massive targets because Debo's gone. Ayuk's not 100%. Juwan Jennings is banged up. Ricky Pearsall is unproven. George Kittle is going to be the mainstay in the offense. Can he stay healthy? If he can, he finishes as tight end 1. Easy.
I want Taylor to make this into a t-shirt. Can we get... I want to get a silhouette of George Kittle on the back, and around it says girthy volume, because he's going to get a girthy amount of volume in 2025, let me tell you.
That's a lot of volume. All right, then we got Garrett Wilson. We have him lower than a lot of people. Not so much it's a Garrett Wilson issue. It's can we really trust in Justin Fields delivering those balls to Garrett Wilson? Yeah. Devontae Adams. I have loved Devontae Adams all off season long. Kyle has too. The whole Stafford situation is just, it's causing a little pause for the cause. Yep. I would actually have Adams higher if I knew Stafford was 100% healthy. So having him right here is kind of the happy medium as of right now. Rashee Rice. We disagree on Rashee Rice, and I know exactly probably why we disagree on Rashee Rice. It's the suspension. And the only reason...
It's definitely not him as a player, because he was one of my must-have wide receivers last season. So, we love ourselves some Rashee Rice here, for sure.
There's a reason why I have him still probably a little bit higher. One, we don't know the length of the suspension technically at the time of this recording. Now, we know that Jordan Addison just got 3 games, which means there's a chance that Rashee Rice gets more. Now, would you draft a top 12 potential wide receiver as your wide receiver? Where's he going here? Okay.
His ADP is still inflated, in my opinion.
It is still inflated, but I'm looking at it as even if you don't have him for the first month of the season or so, when he comes back, we're not worried about injury concern at that point. He's fully healed from last year. He's a potential top 12 guy that you got in the 4th round or so. Depending on how you went in your draft, if you need a boost at wide receiver, he could provide it if this suspension is not outrageous.
So this is really good cop, bad cop here. You're good. That probably wasn't the best metaphor to use.
Not for him. No, probably should. Yeah. He probably doesn't want to hear about any type of cops.
Man, Devin needs to cut this down into a short, because people are going to love that one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You're very positive when it comes to Rashee Rice, and I'm very reserved, because not only is it the suspension, but it's the what ifs after the suspension. So let's say Jordan Addison got 3 games. Let's say Rashee Rice 4 to 6, I think is a legitimate case.
Yep.
It's what happens with this offense in those 4 to 6 games. We'll say 3 to 6. Mm-hmm. 3 to 6 games that Rashee Rice is out. If Patrick Mahomes is loving him some Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce is back and he's feeling good, can Rashee Rice just come back in and get those targets? If Xavier Worthy took a step forward and he's really become more of an all-around wide receiver, can Rashee Rice come back and just get those targets? If Marquise Brown is healthy and he's stretching the field, can he just come back in? So that's my concern with Rashee Rice, is it's not necessarily the suspension itself, it's that who really steps up in the games that he misses, and can Rashee Rice come in and just be the guy again right away?
Yep.
If we were talking about a suspension towards the end of the season, obviously that wouldn't be great for the fantasy playoffs, but I would much rather Rashee Rice be able to start the season, cement himself, be good, have to miss some time, come back.
Yep, I don't disagree with that whatsoever. Then we got James Conner to round out tier 4. We both love Connor. We both love the volume. We're both not sold on the fact of him staying healthy and Trey Benson getting a larger role at some point this year. If you grab James Conner, you need to have Trey Benson later on. Okay, now let's move on to the last tier, Kyle. Let's finish out the top 50. Let's go to tier 5, where we have DeAndre Swift, Chuba Hubbard, Marvin Harrison Jr., David Montgomery, Zay Flowers, Omarion Hampton, Sam Laporta, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, and Rome Odunze. So at the top, we somewhat agree on DeAndre Swift. I've loved DeAndre Swift this offseason. A lot of people want to come out and say, Ben Johnson didn't like him before. He's not going to like him now. And to that I say, well, then why didn't they add anyone better? I'm not saying that Monin guy is going to be the dude. I mean, come on. Dude, Kyle Monin guy he's a day 3 guy. I'm not worried about him. Roschon Johnson has been historically inefficient. He would need buttloads of touches in order to take away a job. DeAndre Swift may not be a 1,500-yard total guy, but at this point, he can be your RB3, and he's an 1,100 guy with touchdown upside up to about 6 or 7 touchdowns. And I would take that as a weekly flex at this point, because if you don't, after tier 5, there's not a lot of running backs you can really rely upon.
Yeah, I see the potential. I really do. I'm one of the people who question the DeAndre Swift-Ben Johnson relationship because...
You're a Lions guy.
I mean,
you feel like DeAndre Swift.
I feel like I don't hate him.
As a person, you even said it before off camera. I hate that guy.
I think I think unfortunately he got caught up in the Matt Patricia issues and probably just couldn't work his way out of that. I do feel like if Ben Johnson really loved DeAndre Swift, he would have maybe fought for him a little bit more in Detroit. But maybe he just got over, and maybe, I don't know, maybe Ryan Poles kind of said the same thing to Ben Johnson. Hey, maybe you don't love Swift, but we need to allocate resources elsewhere, and he's going to have to do for right now.
Don't you think if they really hated him, they would have taken somebody in the first round other than Colston Loveland? Couldn't they have taken Omarion Hampton?
I don't think so. I think we wished for that, and I think it would have been a good fit, but I think based on what I heard about what Ben Johnson wants to do with 12 personnel, Colston Loveland made a whole lot of sense from a just pure football standpoint and not fantasy.
I hate people who don't look at the fantasy standpoint, Kyle. Let that be known.
I know.
Okay, after that, Chuba Hubbard. We somewhat agree on Chuba Hubbard. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a name I've circled on a lot of my draft boards. He's kind of like a wild card for me this offseason, too. If I want to take a risk at this point of the draft, taking a risk on Marvin Harrison Jr. is not a bad thing, in my opinion.
I'm glad he got stronger.
He bulked up this offseason.
Yep, he needed it.
He did need it for sure. Now we just need a non-vanilla offense from Jonathan Gannon. Can they move the ball down the field more? They seem to be doing fine in camp, but everybody does fine in camp in shorts. So... skill set, we cannot write off Marvin Harrison Jr. We just need an opportunity. He needs targets. He didn't get volume last year. Can he get it this year? Then we got David Montgomery, all reliable. Mr. Flex play David Montgomery. Then we got Zay Flowers, kind of a headache to a lot of people. I know they added DeAndre Hopkins. They still have Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers is still the most explosive wide receiver they have. The dude just needs to learn to run in a straight line. If he could run in a straight line, Kyle, his yards, he's too busy trying to juke 15 people. Like, just get the ball and tuck it and run, bro.
Just get upfield.
Just get upfield and get 7-8 yards instead of running around like an idiot and getting 3 or 4. Like, he's got the potential to do it. He's got to quit being so cute. Then we get Omarion Hampton. A lot of questions surrounding Najee Harris. We loved Najee Harris this offseason. Then they drafted Omarion Hampton, and we're like... probably out on the backfield, right? But then Najee, Mr. NFL Iron Man, Kyle, hadn't missed a game in his career, goes to the Chargers and tries to blow himself up with a firework because they drafted Omarion Hampton.
I heard that he was partying with Jason Pierre-Paul.
Whatever it was. Najee now he's walking around looking like a pirate with an eye patch. I don't even know what to expect in this backfield. If Najee is fully healthy, he has to have a role, I would think. It may not be a huge role. It may slightly lean towards Hampton now.
It's enough just to keep Hampton from reaching his upside.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah, it's just enough.
He's a top 12 running back next year, though.
Next year, I may be walking around with a continuous hard-on for Omarion Hampton in fantasy football because he could be top 6 in my rankings next year. It could be huge. Anyway.
And for those of you out there that are subscribed all year long, you know for a fact that Omarion Hampton was like right there towards RB1 status with Ashton Genty for me. That's how much I love him.
Yeah, I love Omarion Hampton for sure. Then we get Sam Laporta. We agree on him for the most part. Same with Tony Pollard. Probably one of the last starting running backs at this point off the board to where you can kind of pencil in 16 touches a week, right? And the offense is going to be better with Cam Moore than what it was with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. So not bad.
He's like original potato chips. Like, not great on their own. You'd like to dip them in something.
Original Lay's or Ruffles? Which one?
Are we talking ones with the ridges?
Yeah, Ruffles have ridges. Yeah.
Okay, then I need Ruffles because they don't break as easy.
They don't break. If you're dipping them in anything, you gotta have the Ruffles with ridges.
Gotta have ridges.
After him, it's Aaron Jones, who I know I'm probably way higher on than a lot of people. I know Kyle is a Jordan Mason truther. He likes himself some Jordan Mason. I
wouldn't say truther.
This year, you're believing in the truth of him.
I am a fan.
And see, on my side, I look at it as like every running back that goes to San Francisco has solid metrics. Like
I think the world is blowing up outside of my house real quick too. I don't know if it can be heard over the video, but I think the fighter jets are flying over my house because we have an air base close.
Top Gun.
So I don't know if you could hear that, but they were low.
Yeah, no, I don't hear it, but Top Gun outside Kyle's house right now.
Yes.
Back to Aaron Jones though and Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones just had a 1,500-yard season. Now, I'm not saying he's going to repeat that and he's going to be an RB1 by any means, but as an RB3, it's a no-brainer almost to me here this year. And then we finish out the top 50 with Rome Odunze. We talked about him a little bit earlier when talking about DJ Moore. Rome Odunze is going to be a slower Jameson Williams in this offense. But I also think that Rome Odunze's 50-50 catchability is much better than Jameson Williams. So I kind of look at Rome Odunze and I see more Mike Evans than I see Jameson Williams.
Yep, I can get on board with that.
And I would
from a build player standpoint, not necessarily like a offensive scheme standpoint.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of the best contested wide receivers in all of college football a couple of years ago.
Yep, 100%. So there you have 5 tiers, the top 50 players. If you want more in-depth rankings, all you got to do is head over to tfhdraftguide.com. We got sleepers, breakouts, busts, injury analysis, Kyle's DRBR, so much information and everything you need to just absolutely dominate in 2025. But maybe you want yours for free. Kyle, there's some people out there that probably want it for free. There's a way to get it for free. Head over to Underdog Fantasy or download the app. Create a new account using the referral code Headliners when you do so. Then you just need to make your initial deposit and join a contest of your choosing. It can be a best ball draft. Where is Kyle going? It can be a player pick'em. Whatever it may be, just what did you just do?
You can keep with your read.
You said to pick something up off the floor. All right, anyway, enter a contest of your choosing. Once you do that, we will get an email from Underdog within 24 to 48 hours that you just signed up, and they will cover the cost of your draft guide. So be sure to head over to tfhdraftguide.com so you have all that information. Kyle is prepping for World War III with the fighter jets outside, just in case somebody out there dropping big ones.
Oh, I mean, listen.
Can't really listen with it on. There you go.
The U.S. Army is the only people dropping more nukes than us here at the Headliners.
I hope nobody dropping nukes outside of the Headliners. I mean, we out there dropping nukes on players, but that's about it. But anyway, Kyle and I are going to get out of here before we get off the rails. If you enjoyed today's show, do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't already, and help us get to 250,000 subscribers. We're so close, so hit that subscribe button as well. But for Kyle and myself, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later. And